Today, I want to dive into the future of AI personalization. Forget about one size fits all. It's all about customizing the AI for your own purposes. By now, probably all of you heard about ChatGPT. However, at the recent developers conference, they came out with a number of new innovations that make ChatGPT so much better than it used to be. And one of the major features is that you can now have your own GPT. Now, when I first heard about this, it didn't really mean much to me. I didn't really see the use case for having your own GPT. I was very happy with ChatGPT. But in this video, I'm actually going to show you the power of having your own personalized GPT and how it is different and more powerful than just using ChatGPT for all your questions and different purposes you might throw at it. So when we head over to ChatGPT, you can see the usual interface. And obviously, I'm on the Plus plan. It's not yet available on the free plan, sadly. But if you have the Plus plan, which I really recommend, I've done a few videos in the past, how much added value and benefits you get. So honestly, those $20 are probably the best you can spend on yourself to progress your career, improve your copywriting, increase your content output, and so much more. So honestly, $20 is a steal. But anyhow, it's up to you. But here we are referring to the Plus plan. You're going to be greeted by that usual interface that we're all aware of. You have a few prompts to get you started. And that's exactly the thing. As you can see over here, basically right now, it does everything, right? You can plan a trip, show me a code snippet, suggest me code names, create a personal web page for me. So it can basically do everything for you, but that's sometimes also the limiting factor, because if it does everything, it doesn't really do one thing particularly good. And for me, it really made click when I thought about my own team, because I have experts for every single division. In the company that I'm managing, I have a finance expert, HR expert, social media expert, revenue expert, and so on. I would never ask my social media manager to do the accounting for us, nor would I ask the HR manager to come up with a creative social media post. So you can see you really have individual expertise in your team. And the same is actually true for ChatGPT. But until now, the only way you could do this was using custom instructions, where you basically tell ChatGPT more about you and then how you want ChatGPT to respond. In my case, I have different personas. I have my YouTube persona, I have my business persona, I have a person I want to be on LinkedIn and Instagram, where I sound different every single time. So that way I had custom instructions for each of those personas. In order for ChatGPT to reply the way I wanted to reply, I had to change the input, the context, which is custom instructions. So then I went copy paste back and forth between my notes, deleted that, copied from my notes the other persona in, and so forth. So it was a little bit cumbersome to do this every single time. So now with the introduction of having your own GPT, this is no longer needed. It will save so much time and will make the output that ChatGPT gives you so much better, in my opinion and experience. Right, so what you want to do is head over to your navigation bar. Over here, you can see here my last few chats. And at the top already, you can see some of my GPTs over there. And I'll come to this in a second. So the first thing what you want to do is click on Explore if you have ChatGPT Plus. And then you'll be greeted by this menu over here. So obviously, we'll get to this in a second. But the main thing where we want to look at is create your own GPT. Customized version of ChatGPT for a specific purpose. You can have a GPT to help you cook better. You can have a GPT to write better emails. You can have one for LinkedIn. You can have one for YouTube. You can have one for coming up with sales copy on your website. So these are all different things, right? The person advising you how to cook has a very much different mindset and answers than the person telling you how to LinkedIn copyright, right? It's very much different. And that's why we have different themes, so to say. And as you can see over here, I already set up a few for myself, and then you also have some of the ones created by OpenAI. And you see here already some of those are very specific. For example, the negotiator. So this will help you to negotiate better. I actually used this recently when we are going back and forth with the owner of the apartment we're planning to buy, because we didn't like the price. So we had to negotiate on the price a little bit. So this was really, really powerful, and it's really specialized towards a negotiation. Something else, for example, creative writing coach. But then also something very different, as I mentioned before, the sous chef that helps you to cook better, or a math mentor. So you can see very specific use cases of those. You can click the math mentor, for example. It just opens it up and boom, you will have it right away. And you can ask math specific questions to it. You already have some prompts over here. It even prompts you to upload a photo of a problem. And the cool thing is now everything is integrated. Before you had to choose which one you want to have. Now I can upload a photo. I can upload Excel sheets. I can ask it to create pictures for me using DALL-E 3. So it's really, really powerful. You don't have to choose different modes anymore. It's all in one. And this one is specifically for math. Now from here, I could say, keep it in the sidebar. So it's hyperlinked, but actually I don't really need that. Right, so with this, let's start creating our own GPT. So we'll click onto this. And here you have two options. This basically is the interface that helps you to create very easily your own GPT. And that's what I've been using, and I recommend, if you do it the first time, to just go through the process and use ChatGPT to help you create your own GPT. I know it's a little bit confusing with the words, but think of it is ChatGPT, which is basically the main tool that helps you to create your own niche GPT, I would call it, for a specific niche that you can really tailor there. However, if you want more customization and do a more advanced version of it, you can also click into configure over here, and then you can go through the motion yourself. You can add a profile picture for that. You can give it a name, description, instructions, conversation starter. So these are the prompts that usually pop up over here. You can also upload a knowledge base, a file, which is really, really cool. For example, if you want this GPT to be your marketing guidance, you could upload your brand guidelines where all the colors and fonts and words that you use in your own company are included. And sometimes these can be huge documents with hundreds of pages in a PDF. Just upload it over here and ask it to reference whenever it quotes something or the way it writes, because sometimes also the copywriting, the language is used, it's given in those guidelines, and it will refer back to the document. The same if you ask it to do your accounting, for example, you could upload a list with all the products you have, the prices, invoices, etc., and it will refer back to that document when it starts doing some numbers, etc. So it's really, really powerful. The same, of course, you also have these capabilities, which is new now all in one mode, which is really cool. And one more cool thing, if you really wanted to spice it up, you can click on add actions over here. And from here, you could make it even more powerful and link your own GPT with, for example, things like Zapier to ask it to do certain tasks. If you ask GPT to create a social media post for you, it will come up with the text in your own niche GPT, so to say. And then if you've linked it with Zapier, it could automatically send that post via Zapier into LinkedIn and publish it. You don't even have to leave ChatGPT anymore. So really, really powerful. I'm not going to get into this in this video. It might be a little bit overwhelming, maybe something for future videos, but I really think it's super, super powerful and can open up so many more things. Imagine booking a trip. You can get travel inspiration from GPT and then ask it to look for the cheapest tickets and hotels and then even book those for you. And I'm really excited what else will be possible with this in the future. Right, but as I said, the easiest way is to just go through the motion, let ChatGPT navigate you to create your own GPT. So let's do that and click on create. Now, obviously, you have to think about what kind of GPT you want for yourself, but since this channel is all about personal finance, investing, etc., why not create a GPT around that topic? So with this, let's ask ChatGPT to help me create such a GPT. You are a professional financial advisor with over 20 years of experience investing in all different kinds of products, such as stocks, dividend stocks, ETFs, cryptocurrency. You're an expert with above market returns, advising me how to make the best possible financial investments and financial decisions in my own personal life. Now note that I didn't have to type anything. The cool thing with Mac, you have voice input. I believe you have the same in Windows. I just click one button, it records my entire voice, directly transcribes it, and that's really the fastest way to interact with ChatGPT. I hardly ever type anything. I usually just use my voice to input text, and then it will get to work. It will update GPT, and then it will go to the next level. So it's really cool. It really works it through step by step. And literally, it takes you 2 to 3 minutes to set it up once. And once it's set up, it will be saved there. And anytime you have a specific question around that topic, you can ask it to do those certain tasks for you. Right, then first of all, obviously, as you see over here in the configure task, it will start helping you to create a name for it. So you can either go with their suggestion, but I'll give it another name, personal financial advisor, but it's really up to you, however you want to call your own GPT, just to make it easy to find it later on. If you might have a number of them, it's advisable to give it a specific name around the topic that GPT is centered around. Then it will come up with a profile picture for your own GPT. I mean, that's a very simple one. I could ask it to come up with another one with the use of DALL-E. It will create something else. Or I could even upload my own logo if I had one. Let's move on to the next step. Now then the next step, it normally asks you how it wants you to respond, how detailed, etc. But since I gave it quite a bit of input already in the beginning, for now, it already concluded the GPT. But if you wanted to, you could add a bit more. So for example, you could specify further, I want the response to be short and simple, don't overcomplicate it. And I want to focus on specific investment tips and strategies that I can actually apply. And I also don't invest in bonds and golds, so do not refer to those. Because I don't want it to say every time, the 60-40 strategy, 40% stocks, 60% bonds, if I never want to invest in bonds. So, but once again, that's really up to you. Just feed it with as much info about you, your investing style, what you like, what you don't like, or leave it blank in order to inspire it. So it's really up to you. For now, I'm going to feed it that information, and boom, as you can see over here, Personal Financial Advisor has been updated to include the following. And yeah, you can now try it out on the playground. So the playground is that over here. I'll come to this in a second. If I now go ahead and click on configure, most of the information has been filled in. So as you can see right here, if I click on the profile picture, I can either upload my own picture or use DALL-E to regenerate a new picture, but I'm happy with this. The name is there. I could change it if I wanted to. The overall description, which is basically just under here, it's what it is. I could change that if I wanted to. And instructions, once again, I can always change them on the fly later on in case my investment style changes. I want to include gold, I would say it over here, or whatever it is. As I shown you before, that's basically how you feed your new employee and tell it what to do, the same way you instruct it over here. So it's really good. I've even seen some people using entire job descriptions that they have for the company for a specific position to either load it in instructions, or as I shown you before, under the knowledge base, when you have a job description PDF, you just put it in there and basically it refers to the job description what it should be doing, right? The same how you want your employees to act, you can ask GPT to act, which is really, really powerful. Then you have a few conversation starters because sometimes you just sit with a blank, you don't even know what to ask GPT. And again, you can remove them, you can add more if you want to. So it's a powerful way just to start the interaction. Then the knowledge base, we spoke about it, we leave all the capabilities. And for now, I don't want to have any additional actions to it. And then all you want to do is click over here on save. And from here, you can do a few things. First of all, you can save it and share it to any one of your friends in your community, what have you. Anyone that has that specific link can access to your own GPT, which is pretty cool. If, for example, you use it in a company, then all of you can refer to the same GPT, has the same knowledge database, as I said, the marketing, branding guidelines, or a recipe cookbook, whatever it might be, you feed off the same information and not everybody has to create their own, which can be very powerful. Now, the one thing I have to say though, in order to do that, other users also need to be plus users. You could also make it public, and then in the future, there will be some kind of GPT store. So other people, who you might not even know, and they're looking for a personal financial GPT, for example, and yours is particularly good, I'm sure there will be some kind of rating system. But that way, if they like yours and start using yours, OpenAI actually said in the future, they will also share some of the revenue generated through that. So basically, every time they use it, you will get a few cents, I imagine, for every request. So that can be a powerful way to monetize your own AI, which is really cool. Remains to be seen how that really works out. For now, basically what I do is have it only for me personally. However, I'm thinking, and if you're interested, I would be considering to share some of my best GPTs with their prompts. So if you would like to have that, then please comment below Kai GPT, so I know you're interested, and I'll make that available for you. Right, so I'm going to click over here on only me, confirm. So if I go back to ChatGPT, I can see over here, personal financial advisor. I'm going to click into this, and then it's really primed and fine-tuned to answer me personal finance related questions only. If I wanted to change it ever in the future, I can just click over here on Edit GPT, and it will take me right back to where we were before. But I want to actually use it, and that's very simple, especially with the conversation starters. For example, what's a good stock investment strategy? Obviously, in the future, I might change those questions to make it more specific for my own needs, but then it will get to work and really start working on that, answering the way I wanted to answer specifically for my needs. So now I've asked it to do Apple stock analysis using the latest market data, and the good thing here, it basically uses the latest market information because it can now surf the internet. So we'll take the information from various websites and hopefully give me a decent analysis to decide whether I should be buying Apple or not. And there you have it. It really takes the latest information from November 23 and really breaks it down by performance, earnings estimates, revenue growth, past performance, overall outlook, and even giving you a slight recommendation of what you should be doing. Obviously, it's not a financial advisor. It can't tell you what to do. But yeah, honestly, if you don't like to read P&Ls or fancy dashboards, what have you, it can really break it down in simple terms. You could also ask it to make it more complicated, more elaborate, etc. So yeah, you can really see how powerful your own GPTs can be, because I have a number of them, obviously for my YouTube, I have one for Instagram, for LinkedIn, and now personal finance. I might add 2-3 more, for example, for fitness and health, because I'm really into that. I might have my own coach who motivates me with different workouts, give me different ideas, tracks my progress, etc. And that can be powerful as well. I don't want to have 30-40 because that might be overwhelming, but for the tasks that you most often use, that's definitely a powerful tool to have a shortcut with specific answers to your own needs. Because now the way ChatGPT responds to my personal finance questions is very much different. It responds to my LinkedIn related questions, which is very much different to my YouTube. I already set up a prompt that gives me some YouTube ideas, because sometimes, let's be honest, I just draw a blank and I cannot come up with anything. So I'm just going to click on this, give me 10 YouTube ideas, and boom, it will get to work in the way I asked it to respond to me. As you can see, it's quite different from the one we just set up in the way it answers. I asked it to even use emojis to spice up your communication. So sometimes when I do a community post, etc., I get inspiration from that and it makes it a bit more fun. Versus if I write on LinkedIn, I want to be more professional and use less casual words, right? Because context really matters and you want to express yourself differently on different occasions and different platforms. So boom, there you have it. Already some good ideas, and who knows, maybe one day in the future I'll actually take one of those ideas to make a video about. So it's really, really powerful. And the cool thing is, it also works on your phone and immediately syncs with your app. So if I go ahead and open up ChatGPT, you will see if I click over here, boom, I have already my new personal finance advisor. I click into this and I have it right there, and I can start chatting right away. I can use the voice functionality as I shown you in previous video, and then I can start having a dialogue with my own personal financial advisor. So that's what I'm saying. It's actually so cheap to spend $20 in it, because it can really replace so many other people. Imagine when in the past you had to hire a social media person or copywriter and what have you. It will take you weeks to get them up to speed, to train them, to understand the way they should be answering their requests, the company thinks, etc. So of course, AI is not really replacing all of those people, but it can definitely enhance their output, their productivity. So really make use of it. I'm still sometimes surprised how people sleeping on this, myself included. I used to watch this video and say, that's interesting, but then not do anything about it. And that's actually the advantage. If you capitalize on that momentum and use those tools for your own advantage, honestly, you can really go to the next level and step ahead of so many other people who are sleeping on this and definitely missing out on all the great opportunities AI is offering. And if you want to see more content of this, maybe also in written format, then sign up to my free weekly newsletters by scanning this code over here or clicking the link in the description below. And if you want to see even more tips and tricks of how I maximize ChatGPT for my own users, then check out this video over here. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.